50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in everyone to the Dream Wager, episode 311. Today is September 24th, 2023. Elvis, it was a bad one today for me, kid. How are you doing?
Dill, I'm doing all right. You know, it was definitely some stunners out there.
Yeah.
But definitely some teams showed us who they really are. You know, let's break it down.
Yeah, we'll recap the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock slate. And we got plays for the doubleheader on Monday Night Football between the Eagles and Bucks and Bengals and Rams. But yeah, let's get right into it, Elvis. I think we're to the point where we've seen enough football where what some of these teams are showing us start to believe them because that's their true form. Let's start in the Meadowlands between the Jets and the Patriots. Patriots wind up winning 15-10. Game goes way under per usual. Patriots wind up covering the 1.5, 2.5, even to 3, whatever you got. But honestly, not bad of a game. I should have took your bet. No turnovers from Zach Wilson. If I came out spinning it any positive way, I guess I could say we didn't turn the ball over. Penalties were good, but just we never really could get it going besides that one drive in the fourth quarter where we scored a touchdown. Defense, it's trying to keep us in games besides that one breakdown where Sauce and one of our linebackers went and covered out the flat. I thought the defense played pretty well and tried to keep us in the game for most of the day. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said I was surprised. I was hopeful we would win, but we didn't win. That's 15 in a row for your Patriots. Congrats. What do you think of the game?
Dale, I think the game is exactly what I expected it. You know, I think I predicted 17-10 game, 15-10, close enough, Dale. I didn't expect much from our offense. I just expected us to make more plays than the Jets offense, Dale. That's a simply way to put it. You know, Zach Wilson, I just knew / had a feeling that he wasn't able to get the ball rolling against us, Dale. It's just Bill Belichick has his number. We spoke about it. Same way how, you know, Zach Wilson's 3-0 against the fucking Bills. Out of every team, he's 3-0 against Josh Allen. Still, he's not gonna beat. Zach Wilson would never beat Bill Belichick. I'm telling you right now, Dill. So, you know, he looked bad at times, Dill. You know, I understand, you know, why they booed him, Dill, but your offensive line was horrendous today, Dill. So I'm not gonna put 100% of the blame of Zach Wilson. I'm gonna give him 50-something%, but the offensive line was bad. Defense played great, Dill. That's the silver lining, Dill. At the end of the day, you still have a great defense that's going to keep you in games. At the end of the day, Dill, the fourth quarter, you was in the ball game, Dill. That's all you can ask for. No turnovers. Like you said, got to think positive. Zach Wilson didn't. It's not like he threw the game away. He just didn't perform great. You know, he didn't give you winning opportunity plays. We saw that 87-yard drive was fucking great, Dill. I think one of his best drives of his career so far, Dill. He just needs to get more of those in tune. And the fact that he was able to march 87 yards in the rain against Bill Belichick, Dill, I think that's impressive in his own.
There were some positive signs. He hit a couple out routes that were really accurate, I would say. They were fucking darts. But yeah, other than that, there are some things that he's still doing wrong. He's taking too long. The ball needs to be out, and it's wide. Some of them are wide open. If Garrett Wilson or Randall Cobb or Alan Lazard are not open, you have your checkdowns every time, and sometimes he just doesn't develop. He always seems like he wants to hit that big play.
Like the safety. You know, he could have easily just checked down to the tight end or Breece Hall, got 5-10 yards, punt it. But no, you hold it too long trying to get something downfield. No, just check it down, get a couple of yards. Then look, you end up like with a safety. The game is basically almost over.
Yeah, at that point, it got away from them. So tough one for the Jets. But I will say this. There were some positives in the game. So,
but like this, Dill, as bad as Zach Wilson played, he did not look like the worst quarterback in football. There was a couple, not just one, a couple who played worse than Zach today. So,
yeah, I mean, let's go to, I think I guess upset, maybe we'll see, but I think the upset of the day, Texans going on the road and just manhandling the Jacksonville Jaguars 37-17. Game goes over. CJ Stroud 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. He looked good. Didn't really run the ball. I know Pierce had a touchdown in the red zone at the goal line, but Tank Dell, what a fucking game. He had 5 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown. What'd you think of the Texans?
Still, this was a tough read. I ended up staying away from the game. I said the only thing I honestly like is CJ Stroud over, and he went over by almost 50 yards. Still, to me, give credit to the Texans. Still, that defense looked great. So give credit there. But Jacksonville, looking a little concerning offensively. Though, Trevor Lawrence looked bad. 27 for 40. I know the completion percentage wasn't horrible, Dill, but he had a horrible interception, only averages 7 yards. So, I think Trevor Lawrence in that offense, I know we probably expected a lot from them, but to start off 1-2 from the game, having a bad loss to the Texans, Dill, it's not just losing the game, it's you lost by 20 at home to the Texans. And you was what, 8.5 favorite? So
yeah,
it says a lot.
Now they stay home and they get a hungry Atlanta team, and now they're 3-point favorite right now. Early look ahead at home next week against. I think that's the London game. It's the London game.
Nice.
So Atlanta will take on Jacksonville next week for the Texans.
That's a home game. That's a home game for Jacksonville people.
Because they have a lot of home fans in London.
Yeah, for some reason they love Jacksonville. So
no, shout out them.
Yeah.
And in Texas, they're 4.5-point underdogs right now against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll see how Pittsburgh plays tonight. But yeah, I thought it was a really impressive win for the Houston Texans. Other than that, good call. Nice bounce back spot for the Browns at home. It was never really in doubt. I thought this was Deshaun Watson's probably best game as Cleveland Brown. They win 27-3. They cover. Game goes under. Tennessee, they just struggled offensively. They couldn't run the ball. Derrick Henry, 1.8 yards per attempt. Couldn't catch anything. I think D-Hop had like 1 or 2 good catches, but other than that, they couldn't stop Amari Cooper. Donovan Peoples-Jones had a few catches. Jermaine Ford had a nice catch as well in the end zone. So all around a good bounce back win at home for the Browns. They improved to 2-1. This division's up for grabs now,
Dill, division up to grab, Dill. Dill, can we compliment Deshaun Watson, Dill? 27 for 33, 239, 2 tubs. Dill, I not just you, but like the whole media was bashing this dude this whole last week, saying he's not that guy, he's not this, he's not that, he's inaccurate, he's not the same Deshaun. I said, bro, give him some time. I understand it might not be the MVP caliber we saw in Houston.
Yeah,
that guy might be gone, but bro, what we saw today, that was a top 5 performance.
Yeah, and the defense was lights out as well.
So great overall performance. I love that the running back group did it by committee. You got Strong Jr., Ford, Kareem Hunt, got some touches. Shout out Kareem Hunt getting that deal. So I like the fact that they're doing by committee, try to replace replace Nick Chubb. Hopefully Nick Chubb makes a speedy, full recovery.
Myles Garrett, 3.5 sacks on the night as well. He was busted through that offensive line. Big game next week at home. The Brownies stay home and take on the Baltimore Ravens. Right now it's a pick of -1 towards the Ravens, but that's going to be a pivotal matchup in that AFC North division. And then looking ahead towards Tennessee, they're home, and it's another pick of -1.5 for the Bengals. We'll see how they play tomorrow. We'll see if Joe Burrow winds up playing. If not, maybe he comes back next week, especially if they go down 0-3. I think it would be in panic mode at that point for them. But yeah, good win for the Browns. Another team that bounced back as well. Good call there. The Lions, 20-6. They wind up covering the 3.5, whatever number you got. The total goes under. I just got to start fading Desmond Ridder. I said it. That was my one concern. He didn't turn the ball over, but he didn't have the best game. He got sacked 7 times. He's another one where he's just taking a little longer to process and read the defense when the ball has to be out or you got to throw it away. They weren't able to run the ball. Got to give credit to Detroit in that defense, though. After giving up a ton of points and yards to the Seahawks, they wind up bouncing back. Jahmyr Gibbs actually had a good game running the ball, 17 for 80 yards. They had that nice trick play as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown, your boy Sam. Overall, really good win, 2-1 for the Detroit Lions. What'd you think about them?
Dill, I expected a win, but I didn't expect them to take care of business the way they did. It was a dominant performance. Honestly, it was just 20-6, Dill, but it was a defensive showcase for the Detroit Lions in that front seven, Dill. So give credit to them. Jared Goff made a couple great throws, especially to that deep one to the tight end Laporta. So great game overall, Dill. Detroit. Are they for real or not? It's just they got to be more consistent to me. Last week against Seattle didn't look good at home, and then they come out 20-6 against a 2-0 team. So we got to see.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, Atlanta will hit the road across the pond, take on Jacksonville, and basically a road game. They're 3-point underdogs right now. And we'll see if they're for real because Detroit is on the road in Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. Right now, it's a pick'em, -1 towards Detroit, but should be a very good game, I think, there.
And that's a Thursday night game, so we be on.
Quick turnaround for them as well. And speaking of good defenses, how many points did this Bills defense have? Jesus Christ. This is one of the most shocking, I guess. Maybe I was just a little too high on the Redskins, I think. But
nah, Dale, even I didn't expect this.
Yeah, I wasn't 37-3. Yeah. I mean, they cover, game goes under, but Sam Howell, man, this had to have been his worst performance of his life. Yeah, his life. I was gonna say career, but his life. Josh Allen did turn the ball over, but it didn't matter. Their defense. James Cook ran the ball pretty well. The Redskins weren't able to run the ball either. Brian Robinson Jr. had a few nice runs, but Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin had 6 catches, but only for 41 yards. They really couldn't get a rhythm on offense because they kept turning the ball over. They didn't score those pity 3 points until the fourth quarter, but Stephon Diggs had a big game. Gabe Davis had a nice touchdown in the corner. It was his only catch, but yeah, a big win, 2-1 now for the Bills. What'd you think of their performance?
Dill, I, to be honest, I expected them to go in there and walk out with a victory, Dill, but I didn't expect this off like defensive showcasing, Dill. That was flat out embarrassing what we saw. Dill, you know how I felt. We was watching the game live. I was calling Sam Howell the worst quarterback in football. I'm not gonna say that now, but I'm pretty sure he leads the NFL in interceptions. So that's not a bad look. That's not a good look.
That's not a good look.
That's not a good look. I did hit James Cook over, so that's good, people. If you followed on that, he went over. He had 98. I think the over under was 52.5. Disrespectful, to be honest. And then Josh Allen still turning the ball over. Though didn't look great. I still think Josh Washington defense did play good. At one point it was 16-0 midway in the third quarter, but the defense just started getting. Sam Howell just kept turning over the ball. That's basically what it was. So I think moving forward, though, Washington, I'm not going to overreact. I think the defense will keep them in ball games. And Sam Howell, like we just said, this is his worst game of his life. And I doubt he has a worse game once again. I highly doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, spinning it on a positive note, the Jets at least scored more than that. I feel like the Jets are a better team right now.
Zach Wilson played better than him.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
NFC East showdown for next week for the Redskins. They're on the road taking on the Eagles. Right now, Eagles laying 7.5 at home. And Miami, this is big for our division. Miami's on the road at Orchard Park. Right now, Buffalo -3 at home. Are you surprised?
I'm shocked. Don't get me wrong, Dill. Dill.
Go.
Back-to-back weeks have the Buffalo Bills have not blown out their opponents. Yes or no? Just yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. We did not see Miami, I wouldn't say barely win, but have a tough battle with the Patriots. Yeah. We saw we saw what we witnessed today, Dill. I'm not gonna, try to downgrade what we witnessed today, Dill. But all I'm saying is Buffalo have dominated their last two opponents, especially defensively as well.
Speaking of one of the best games in the 1 o'clock slate, and it didn't look like it till late, but 18 unanswered ports by Jordan Love and the Packers. They wind up coming back in their home opener and winning 18-17. Derek Carr goes down. Jameis Winston comes in. Didn't turn the ball over, but he didn't really do anything well either. I like Jameis Winston. And I know it's like a joke and he's fun, but you got to win that game up 17 going into the fourth quarter, man. That's a tough look. Credit Jordan Love, though. 22 for 44. He hung around. He got sacked a few times, but, he threw that one pick. They really weren't able to establish a run game with A.J. Dillon, or Jordan Love was the leading rusher, but Romeo Doubs had a key touchdown late in the game. Musgrove had a couple catches as well. And besides Chris Olave, they kind of held the Saints in check. What do you think of the Green Bay Packers comeback win?
I got to give credit to Green Bay for taking care of business, though. 18 unanswered. I understand Jameis came in and laid the goose egg, deal. But you got to give credit to where credit's due. So give credit to the Packers, pulling off an incredible comeback at home, deal. And Jordan Love was able to do it. So give credit there, deal. I'm not going to overreact for the Saints just because when Derek Carr was in the game, he was 13 for 18, up 17-0. So, if he stays in the game, they're gonna win this game convincingly. So I'm not gonna overreact there. One thing I will say / panic, you gotta do something with this offensive line deal. There's no way this team should be 3-0, and now your starting quarterback is going down. Now, depending on the injury, let's just say if it's a broken
shoulder injury,
it's a shoulder injury. But let's just say if it's a 4 to 6 week injury, now the division is up for grabs. You could have been 3-0. But now you're 2-1, and now the division's up to grab because your quarterback might miss, a couple weeks. Still, that's the thing. So I think they gotta definitely address this offensive line moving forward, just because we see the potential that they were up 17-0 on the road, heading to 3-0. Still.
Yeah, and I think Chris Olave is really slowly approaching into a wide receiver one. No matter where he went, he would be a number one. I'm telling you, those couple wide receivers coming out of the Ohio State, there are some ballers, man.
And look who's next. Who's next.
Yeah, and then speaking of next, they did big game next week for the Saints. They're back home taking on the Buccaneers, so we'll see if the Buccaneers could keep it close tomorrow night against the Eagles. But the Saints laying 3.5 at home right now with a quarterback question mark. What do you think about that line?
Still, it all depends on Derek Carr. Derek Carr is able to go. I like it, but if it's Jameis or Taysom, got to take the plus points, yo.
And like I said, short week for Green Bay. They'll run it back home against the Lions on Thursday night. But I guess we got to talk about it. The Miami Dolphins, 70-20. Game goes over by themselves. They didn't score less than 14 points per quarter. Game goes over. They cover the points. 70 points. They might be the best team in the AFC right now, especially offensively. 0-3 now for the Broncos. I mean, what is the problem? I mean, I didn't even think Russ looked that bad. He was only sacked one time, but he threw for over 300 yards. Cortland Sutton had a good game. Jerry Jeudy had a bounce back. He did go over his receptions, but they weren't able to run the ball. Javonte Williams does not look good in my opinion, but I think what the biggest problem is, and something that we were kind of held on this team, was how good their defense is, but they just let up over 100 points in the last two games between Sam Howell and how bad he looked, and now two of the leading MVP frontrunner. What's their problem?
Dill, it's definitely the defensive side of the ball. Dill, back-to-back weeks, we've seen back-to-back 300-yard passes in Tua and Sam Howell. 299. I'm gonna just call it 300, and back-to-back 30-plus point performances. Dill, one at home, one on the road. Dill, at 70 points for Miami. Dill, Miami had an opportunity to set the all-time scoring game record.
I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, respect to Mike Daniels. Me personally, I would have done it.
I know,
but I would have done it. So that my name in history. And at the end of the day, Miami's only team undefeated, most points in NFL history. It's just a little caveat for the organization. I would have done it, but still, if I'm the Walton family, the Sams,
Yeah.
You know,
Walmart.
Walmart. Psh, I'm pissed off. I'm not even a Broncos fan, and I'm like, God damn. You know, I'm like, holy shit, what's going on? I would, if I'm the owner, and I just spent, you know, the money. I gotta pay Russ what I gotta pay him. Even though Russ didn't play bad today, I'm not gonna put it on Russ. I gotta pay Russ what I gotta pay him. I just give Sean Payton all this money, and we 0-3, and we just lost by a record 50 points.
Nathaniel Hackett wasn't losing by 50. No cap.
No
he
cap.
wasn't.
He did it.
I mean, the Jets are better than them right now. Like,
And
I'm
then,
trying to spend it forward to make myself happy because, like,
and then let's give somebody their flowers, though. Let's give Devon Ikane. Wow. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but have yourself a day, young man. 18 carries, 203 yards. This guy was averaging 11 yards a clip. Yeah. 2 tubs, and then Raheem Mostert. Sorry, Dylan. This man had 3 tubs, almost 40 points on my boy D-Rock today. Yeah. So in fantasy, he got killed on it, but it's cool. I played Buffalo's defense. They gave me 31, and I should lose the game. So it is what it is, though. You know, so what a show. What Mike McDaniels, front runner coach of the year, 2 front runner for MVP. Wow.
I mean, I just want to read some of these numbers. 30 first downs to 16. On third down, the Denver Broncos were 3 for 12. Miami was 5 for 9. Total yards, 726 to 363. They were averaging 10.4 yards per play.
1,000 yards in the game.
Tua was 23 for 20. He was perfect. Like, this man is.
He started 16
top
for
5,
16.
He's the top 5 quarterback. Like, I'm telling you,
he's playing right now. He's playing like I wouldn't put him in the room yet, but Dale, if he continues on this pace and these quarterbacks, other top 5 quarterbacks, keep slipping the way they're slipping, Dale, we're gonna have to put him in that room.
The Broncos didn't get 1 sack. His passer rating was 155.8.
That's nuts.
I mean, this guy is just insane. He didn't even play. They put Mike White in at the end.
Mike White,
yeah.
Mike White, 2 for 2, 67 yards.
So I mean,
I'm telling you,
they got to be the front runner right now. They have to be.
Yeah, they're definitely going up in the power rankings.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for Wednesday. Chargers get the win on the road, 28-24. Game actually winds up going under. Chargers get the win on the road as the underdog. Justin Herbert played good, I thought. Only 1 sack. He threw for over 400 yards. He had 3 touchdowns. Hey, Keenan Allen even had a 49-yard bomb. But yeah, still an issue running the ball. They're kind of one-dimensional right now without Austin Eckler, but Keenan Allen, 18 catches for 215 yards. Mike Williams, hopefully his injury is not serious, but he had himself a day, 7 catches for 121 yards. Alexander Mattison actually had an okay game running the ball, but outside of that, Kirk Cousins, he had a pick, three touchdowns. He did go over his passing yards. Justin Jefferson, I mean, I don't know why he's not an auto bet for you right now or for anyone. He's just going to get 100 yards per game. That's him. TJ Hawkinson had a few drops, but I will say this. I don't know if you caught the end of the game, but they kind of got fucked late in the game. They were driving. They were at the 5 or 6 yard line, and they took too much time, and they kind of rushed it. Wind up throwing a pick at the end to cost them the game, but Chargers, they wind up sneaking out. I mean, 0-3 now for the Vikings. Do the Jets go and trade for Kirk Cousins?
Yes or no, Dill. Just because y'all could turn the season around and possibly make a championship run. So that I agree with. No, just because you got to pay him, and then you still got Aaron Rodgers in your back pocket the upcoming season. So is it really worth trading? Possibly. You know, they're gonna want something decent in return.
A young player, definitely,
or at least a second or third, maybe a second. You know, so are you willing to send a second round pick just to have Kirk Cousins for 10 games in a playoff run? That's the question you got to ask yourself, Dill. But let's go back to the game, Dill. Justin Herbert, wow, 405 yards, only 7 incompletion. The kid went 40 for 47, Dill. this Vikings defense, even though they got my boy Brian Flores back there, they can't allow anybody, not Justin, but just anybody go 40 for 47. The only cause for concern from the Chargers offense and Kellen Moore, I think they got to get the running game going. The fact they only had 15 attempts,
no Austin Eckler,
but still, 47 passes to 15 rushes. That's terrible. I think you could get away with that against Minnesota and a shooter like Kirk Cousins, but some of these other teams, though, you're not gonna win a game like that. So I think they're gonna have to rely on the running game a little more. I understand, 40 for 47. Shit, that's impressive. I ain't gonna lie, but I think they gotta get the running game a little going. Then Kirk Cousins, I'm not gonna blame him. He had himself a day. 32 for 50, not great, but not bad at all. 367, like you said. Justin Jefferson is just, he might get to 2,000.
He's an auto bet over at this point. He has to be.
He has to be. Madison had his first good game. It's just like you said. It was a little not controversial. It was just a little sloppy of an ending that ended up in an interception. Maybe that better.
It might have costed him though.
Yeah, but still, that's the way.
That didn't lose you the game. I get it.
It didn't lose you the game. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Still, so Kirk Cousins and offensively, they had themselves a game. It was just defensively, they couldn't stop Justin. They couldn't.
No. And now both teams are favored in their next game. Minnesota on the road, -3 against Carolina.
Minnesota's due, Dill. I'm telling you right now.
We said that last week.
They do this. They're not going on 4. They might.
And Chargers are at home against the Raiders, -4.5 for next week as well. But credit to Chargers. I don't understand how Bradley Stanley still has a job. It's insane. Oh, wow. I forgot. I don't know how this went under the radar, but shout out the Colts, man. Without AR-15, Gardner Minshew lead the boys. Didn't turn the ball over. 27 for 44, over 200 yards. Zach Moss had himself a hell of a game, over 122 yards. Michael Pittman Jr. had a good game as well. Zach Moss had a receiving touchdown as well. But Lamar, he rushed for over 100 yards, but he really couldn't get anything going passing the ball. I will say, I don't want to put my bias, but they kind of got fucked in OT on 4th down. That was a defensive PI. The guy held him. It was a no call. But Matt Gay, have yourself a fucking day. 3 or 4 field goals of over 50 yards or more. He set the fucking record. So shout out Matt Gay. Whoever had him as a kicker in fantasy, he gave you like 15, 20 points easy. So I want to get the official. Matt Gay, 5 for 5, his longest 54 yards. He gave you 16 points by himself. That's the ball game. So what'd you think of Ravens? Disappointing at home.
Dude, that was a disappointing loss. How does it get? I understand the conditions wasn't practical, but at the end of the day, Gardner Minshew walked in there and walked out with a victory. It wasn't AR-15 like you said. It's not like it was the the Steelers who've been doing it for years. It's not like it was the Browns or Joe Burrow. It was fucking Gardner Minshew. So I'm not gonna be like, oh no, that was bad. That was bad, You lose to a backup quarterback at home. And you were a heavy favorite. I think they were 8.5-point favorite. Lamar didn't look good. I understand he ran for 100 yards, didn't turn the ball over, but that key late in the 4th quarter, they had the opportunity to win, or they need a couple yards. He takes a sack. I understand he tried to throw the ball with his left hand, but Lamar, you got to be smarter than that. It's only 30 seconds, 20 seconds left, and you're over here trying to scramble. No, get rid of the ball. You got the greatest kicker of all time.
Yeah.
Ready to come in, and you're over here trying to make too much. Bro, get rid of the ball. I guarantee, I'm not guaranteed, but I'm pretty sure if it was a 65, 66 yarder from right there, guess what? Y'all was going for it. And guess what? I gave him a shot to fucking make it. So, I'm gonna put 95% of the loss on Lamar Jackson, 5% on the defense,
Yeah, defense. I will say the defense for the Indianapolis Colts did look good. They were flying across the field, yeah. And now they're home against the
I'm
LA
a-
Rams next
I'm going to
week.
do 80-20. I'm going to do 80-20 just
A
because
little
Lamar
too much
didn't.
on Lamar.
Yeah, he didn't turn the ball over, so
Yeah.
that was great. That was great.
Rams -1 at home or on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. And like I said, the Browns are on the road taking on, or no, the Browns are home taking on the Ravens. Ravens are underdogs. The line has flipped now within 20 minutes. So Browns -1.5 at home against the Ravens. As for the 4 o'clock slate, was pretty
How
interesting.
about the Cowboys?
I mean, besides the Chiefs, I think we could get that one out of the way. We don't really got to say much. Chiefs dominated the Bears. I will say.
Now, the headline of the game was Taylor Swift in the fucking box.
Yeah.
That was
it. She
Next.
got more. She got more
Next
screen
game.
time than everything else. I will say though.
Real quick, though. We got to talk. Your boy Justin Fields, 11 for 22, 99 yards.
He might not ever get his 6 career wins. Zach Wilson has more wins than him, and the Jets are better than the Bears.
I love your positivity.
We got to spin it forward, man. I'm telling you. I'm in a positive mood, even though we lost. But yeah, no. Credit, big win for the Kansas City Chiefs. Thought Isaiah Pacheco ran the ball pretty well. Even Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a few good runs, but yeah, once you saw Taylor Swift, then you knew it was going to be good. But you knew 11 for 22, 99 yards. He had a touchdown, but man, this team is bad. 0-3. They might not win a game,
They're gonna win again. I guarantee
Justin
Fields gonna go off one game for like 220 and like 150 rushing. He's gonna do it once or twice.
And then the other, like I said, they fucked up the schedule for the 4 o'clock. But I told you the Cardinals. I didn't think they were gonna win outright, but they're a pesky team. They play hard, and their defense was flying across the field. They held Dak Prescott finally got an interception, but 25 for 40 for Dak, threw for over 200 yards. I thought Tony Pollard actually played good. They were able to run the ball, and I don't know why I get it because they were down by 12, but they kind of got away from the run game a little bit, and Michael Gallup finally showed up and had a big game, but they kind of kept CeeDee Lamb in check for most of the game. James Conner had that big rush, that 25 or 26 yard run. He wound up scoring. Randall Moore had a nice run as well. Michael Wilson had a good game, but this is a fun team. I'm not Josh Dobbs. I mean, he doesn't turn the ball over. He only gave up 2 sacks. He's not going to throw for 300 yards, but he's going to make the right decision. He's not going to turn the ball over, and he's going to keep the team in the game for most of it. Impressive win at home for the Cardinals.
Still, Joshua Dobbs, 17 for 21. I understand the yards only 189, but 17 for 21, 1 touchdown, 0 turnovers. And he rushed for 55 yards. That's going to win you games in this National Football League, Dill. So give credit to Joshua Dobbs, and Dill. That Arizona defense. I understand Dak Prescott threw a pick, but that was late, Dill. Give credit to that Arizona defense. They held Dak Prescott and company and CeeDee Lamb in check in that first half, Dill. I understand Tony Pollard was having a day. I think he had like 122, Dill, but this isn't about the Dallas Cowboys. This is about Joshua Dobbs and the Arizona Cardinals taking care of business at home. James Conner had himself a day, 14 for 98 in a tub. Rondell Moore, that huge breakout 45, 50-yard run up the middle, Dill. Soon as I saw that run, I knew right then and there the Cowboys are in trouble, Dill. Mm-hmm. So give credit for the Arizona winning this game by double digits at home after being a 12. Look at
they were 12-point underdogs.
12-point underdog, flipped it, winning by 12, basically covered by 24, Dill. What a special win.
Yeah, now they flip it and they go on the road to take on the best team in the league next week, the 49ers. 49ers 14-point favorites at home. I don't know about that. Like, maybe tease them up, but I think they've shown you enough where they could hang around. Maybe not win the game, but they could hang around, and then you guys play the Patriots, go on the road to take on Dallas. Right now, Dallas is 7-point favorites. Are you worried about the defense? First game without Trayvon Diggs, and they wind up losing by double digits.
No, just because though it's not like Dobbs went out there. Yes, he was accurate, 17 for 21, just 4 incompletions. But it's not like he threw a party out there. It was mostly the running back group running the ball down Darius' throat. That really what it was though. They had 222 rushing yards on the ground as a team though. So you're gonna win a lot of games when you rush for 200 yards, and it dominated time of possession.
100%. And then the last game in the 4:00 slate, Panthers wind up losing on the road to the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks cover the number. Game goes over as well, 37-27. Credit Andy Dalton. He threw for over 350 yards. I told you he was going to throw for a lot, but didn't turn the ball over. He had a few sacks. Gino had that one interception. He threw for 296 yards, but Kenneth Walker, I felt like, had a really big game, especially down in the red zone. He got those 2 tubs, almost 100 yards. DK had a good game, 6 catches for 59 yards. But, Miles Sanders, they weren't able to run the ball. Adam Thielen had a very good game, 145 yards on 11 catches and a touchdown. But besides him, they weren't able to run the ball. And Seattle's defense, they got the stops, especially in the second half. I know they got 14 points late, but third quarter they held them to 0 points, and they did just enough. Gino did just enough. Good bounce. That's 2 in a row now. They went and beat the Lions, and then they came home and beat the Carolina Panthers. What are your thoughts here?
I was kind of shocked at how many points were scored on both sides still, but good game for Geno Smith. 23 for 36. Bad interception late still, but I think he did pretty good at home. Kenneth Walker had himself a day. 18 carries, 97, 2 tubs. Andy Dalton deal. Red Rifle could sling it now. I just feel like they needed more of a balance, run game. They didn't really rush the ball. They're only 14-10. So I understand they were down. But Dill, you're gonna ask the Red Rifle to sing it out there 58 times in his first start back. So, give credit for the Panthers for making it close down late, Dill. But honestly, they were down 20 at one point, so not really. So, but Andy Dalton had himself a pretty good game. I'm pretty sure he could probably. Hey, maybe the Jets should give a call to the Panthers, Dill.
Hey, Jets are better than the Panthers right now. So
no, but Andy, y'all could use 361 and 2 touchdowns.
There was reports after the game that the Carson Wentz and Matt Ryan have reached out to the Jets, but this was before the game. But the Jets have declined them and said they're sticking with Zach Wilson. But I don't know after today's performance. So
another call you guys should give to. Kyler Murray should be back in like 3 more weeks. Joshua Dobbs been in every game.
I thought you were gonna say trade for Kyler Murray. I said that guy doesn't study.
They just gave that man 5 years, 230. Look at him. Joshua Dobbs making probably $1 million, $2 million.
If that. Yeah. Carolina at home next week against Minnesota. Someone has to get a win. Both 0-3. Minnesota -3 on the road, and then for Seattle, they play on Monday night, so they get a little extra day rest. Prime time, Daniel Jones, Seattle Seahawks, -1.5 at MetLife. Seems kind of small right now. I think that's an early lean. I might lay it because Daniel Jones is defeated in prime time. So we'll see there. But Elvis, overall, on the week, let me get you. Oh, nope, that's preseason. Let me get you my record real quick. I am 5-5. All comes down to tonight, Sunday night football. I got the Steelers +3. Hopefully they win outright. Real quick, what are you on for Sunday night football starting about an hour?
Dale, I'm on the Pittsburgh Steelers, Dale, +3, and for the day so far, 7-5, Dale. So let's keep it rolling.
Nice. Hey. Hopefully, even if I lose tonight, which I don't think I will, hopefully not. We still got plays. We got 2 plays or 2 games, for Monday. But before we get to the Monday double header, let me tell you guys about our sponsor, Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. No wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We favor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick. just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry Sunday night watching the Steelers get a dub on the road, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, E, let's get to it. We got a doubleheader, like I said, Monday Night Football. We'll start with the first game. I don't like, by the way, I don't like how they overlap each other sometimes. Like, put the game at 5 o'clock and then put the game at 8 o'clock. Like, it's an hour apart.
Hey, I think it should be 6:30, 8:30.
Yeah, or something. At least give me the first half and then start the other game. Like, I don't know. It's just bad planning on their part. But we'll start in Tampa Bay. The Eagles are laying 4.5 on the road. Minus 240 on the money line, plus 198 for the home dog in Baker Mayfield. And the Buccaneers over under is at 45.5. Seems like a short line, E, on the road. You're going to lay it here with the Eagles.
Dill, I'm not gonna lay it, Dill, but that's definitely the right side, Dill. I like Philadelphia on the road here. I'm just not gonna go to the window at -5. Do I think they could win by a field goal? Yes, Dill. Do I think they could possibly win by a touchdown or a double at 10 points? Yes. But Tampa been impressive. Mike Evans still proving he's a top 10-ish wide receiver. Baker Mayfield, I gotta give him his flowers. He's been playing great, Dill. The defense been showing up. I tell you, that defense, when healthy, is a top 10-ish defense still. Shaquille Barrett looking good, coming off that injury deal. So, with Philadelphia, the offense been sluggish. The defense been a little riddled with injuries. I expect them to be a little more healthier come this week after that, that extended rest coming off the Thursday night win against Minnesota deal. I do believe Philly's the right side deal, but the -5 might just be a little too much. I think Tampa's been a little better than I expected to, so I ended up staying away with the -5.
Yeah, so for the side, nothing official because I do agree. I think the Eagles should win this game. I did see 5.5s earlier in the week. If it got to 6, I would have taken the Buccaneers because they've looked competent. You got to give credit where credit's due. Baker Mayfield, he's been impressive, I would say, in these two games. He threw for over 300 yards against the Bears. He was good on third down. His passer rating was 132 last week. He's done good under pressure. He's completed 72% of his passes. That's 5th in the league. So he's doing good under pressure. And obviously, this is their biggest test. The Eagles are a great team, not good. But let's not lie or let's not think that they're completely healthy. They're still banged up on defense. They surrendered more than 300 yards in the air in both opponents this season. Like I said, they're dealing with injuries as well. And, they get the job done, but it just hasn't been pretty so far. Jalen Hurts, he's passed for 363 in 2 games. The ground game is good. I think if they're able to run the ball like they did, I think it might get crazy. But Tampa Bay has a good run defense. They rank 5th in the league in rush defense, limiting their opponents to 3.3 yards per carry. That's 5th in the league. So top Bowles, we know he's a defensive mind. He does an excellent job preparing for mobile quarterbacks. So we saw how good he did against Justin Fields. Well, Justin Fields might actually not be good. So.
We saw what he was able to do against Mahomes in that Super Bowl now.
Exactly. So, I think let's be honest, the Eagles benefited from that fumble out of the backfield in the end zone last week against the Vikings.
Justin Jefferson's play.
Yeah. So the Bucs, they do a good job holding on the ball. They haven't had knock on wood, they haven't had a single turnover this year. So I know it all sounds like I am leaning towards the Buccaneers. I'm not going to lie. I would lean them. If it got to 5.5, I think they might be a good teaser spot. I think the Buccaneers at home could keep this game close. So we haven't seen the Eagles blowing anyone out, and they're still kind of hurt on defense. As for the total, 45, lean over, under. What do you like here?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I lean under. I expect it to be a nip-and-tuck game, like a 21-17 battle. That's why it wouldn't shock me if Eagles win 21-17, though. So, that's 38 points.
Yeah.
And then, Tampa covers. That's my final score. Let's see if I get that score right. 21-17.
You were
Philly.
close with the Patriot one, but a little
Remember that?
short.
Remember
Yeah.
2 years ago I hit one. It
Mhm.
would have been like plus like 8,000, but I didn't do it.
Yeah, I got no play for the total. It opened up at 46. It's come down. I think I agree with the line movement. If anything, I would lean under. I know we even seen, even though they haven't turned the ball over, Buccaneers aren't putting up world numbers on offense, and so haven't the Eagles either. They've gotten actually a lot of their points on defense, especially
Yeah.
against you guys. So I would lean under. Actually, I do like the under. That'd be my one official play that I'll probably get to the window with. Is the under in the game? Any player props in this game for you, kid?
Dale, I'm gonna go right back to the well, Dale. I told you in the beginning of the season, I think this dude is gonna be the number one this season, and so far he's proven me right. Dale, give me Devontae Smith once again over 61.5 receiving yards in the game. Dale, wouldn't shock me if he goes over 100 once again with a tub. Dale, give me Smith over 61.5 receiving yards.
I feel like I gotta go back to Antonio Brown anytime touchdown. You know,
You
he
mean
hasn't.
AJ Brown?
I said Antonio Brown. Shout out Antonio Brown though.
He's right here. He's
Yeah,
right here.
it's my
AP,
boy.
baby. With the Raiders.
What's the? Oh, she didn't even play a game. That's probably rare.
I
He
know.
never
with the
even played a
Raiders.
game.
He never played a game.
What's that thing he does? Eh, what's that?
Put your shit on, or something like that.
Put on or something.
Put that shit
like
on, something
Yeah,
like that.
he making hits too.
Yeah, stop playing a little bit.
AJ Brown though, I know he hasn't scored a touchdown, but you gotta expect. You know, we saw him visibly upset on the lack of involvement, I guess I should say, of Jalen Hurts looking towards him. So you got to think Jalen Hurts is going to get his playmaker involved. He only saw 23% of the targets last week. That has to go up. So I guess I would lean AJ Brown anytime. I fuck with Antonio Brown. AJ Brown anytime touchdown score at plus 145. But other than that, I really don't have anything. Maybe Baker over 1.5 touchdown throws as well, but maybe Jalen Hurts to throw a pick too. I've been liking some interception props as well, but yeah, only thing I really like for the game is gonna be the under, and I do lean the Buccaneers at home. What's your official play, Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith over 61.5. People.
Okay, let's go to the second game. Bengals -1.5, -126 at home, +108 for the Rams, +1.5, -110. Over under is at 43.5. Now, Elvis, it doesn't look like Joey B will play. The line has come down from -6 all the way to basically a pick 'em right now. Last thing I read about a few hours ago, he went through walkthroughs today. He's 50-50 game plan. I don't think he's going to play just because I think they need the game next week against the Ravens a little more. But we'll never know. It's Joe Burrow. So I don't think he'll play, but the line, I think the line is telling you he might not play. Let's start with the line. Going to take the Bengals straight up. I feel like you've been dying on this hill with them.
Still, to be honest, if Joe Burrow is a no-go, I can't die on the hill alone, Dill. So with that being said, it's looking like Joe Burrow won't be a go. I wonder if AJ McCarron going to be the guy.
They did sign AJ McCarron now from the XFL.
So let's see if it's going to be him. I'm curious who's going to be the starting quarterback. I don't even know who's the backup. Doubt it's going to be AJ. But Dill, if Joe Burrow's a no-go, Dill, I think the side got to be the Rams on the money line, +110, Dill. Yeah. Let's just be honest. And from the first 2 weeks, gotta lean the under, just because I don't expect, even if Joe Burrow was out there, the Cincinnati offense did not look good all season long, Dill. Joe Mixon, he's been decent, but he couldn't get the ball rolling. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, nothing. Just nothing. T. Higgins had 0 catches week 1. Last week he made a little noise, but Jamar Chase yet to have that, a stellar game. Tyler Boyd, so even if it's Joe Burrow, what have we seen in the first 2 weeks that Cincinnati's going to go out there and put up points on the board? So that's my thing. That's my thing, Dill. So I think the right side gotta be the Rams. I do give them if Joe Burrow's starting. I do like the Bengals. So let me just be clear about that. If Joe Burrow is starting tomorrow for the Bengals, I probably go with the Bengals. But as of right now, I think the Rams plus 110 is the play.
Yeah, I think we have the right to change our pick if Joe Burrow winds up playing the game. I agree. I think the Bengals. I would take the Bengals if he plays. If he does it, there's no reason they should be the favorite, especially what they've shown you in the first two games. Matthew Stafford looks really good. I think what's his name? Puka Nakua, he fucking 25 catches for 266 yards in 2 games. He's going crazy. He hasn't had a touchdown, but I think his line's around 64, 65 that I saw. So he's got in his first game, he had 119, he had 147. Look for him. Look for Tutu Atwell. Look for Matthew Stafford passing, because I know we're getting ahead to player props real quick, but just Cincinnati's defense does not scare me. I think everyone has just looked really good against them, especially if they can't go out and match them touchdown for touchdown if Joe Burrow's not there. So I lean over as well. I think the game could be into a shootout as well. But you're right, +2. I think it's a good teaser spot to get them to +8. But I'm gonna take them on the money line. I think they're with an asterisk, if Joe Burrow winds up playing, I'm off the Rams, but I don't think he'll play. Give me the Rams on the money line +110. As for the total, Elvis, I was saying it came down. It was at 44.5. It's down to 43.5. You agree with the line movement towards the under? Because I actually like the over.
Yeah, I think I will go with the under, though. This is all if Joe Burrow's not playing, people. If Joe Burrow's not in, I'm gonna say 24-10. 34-point total, though. 24-10, the Rams on the road.
Yeah. Like I said, I was just looking while Elvis was talking. Puka Nakua, his receiving prop is at 65.5, right? Is that what you got?
I got 65.5. That will be my official play for this game. So you could go to the window with that, people. My official play for the game will be Nakua over 65.5 receiving yards. This dude had over 225 first 2 games. I'm trying to find his reception as well, but they're not really out as of yet. But to be honest, people, if it's anything under 7.5, smash it. If it's 6.5, smash the over. 7.5, it's 8 balls is out there. I'm gonna be honest, but I do think he'll get anywhere from 7 to 8, 7 to 9.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go with him as well. He's just been lighting it up. Yeah, I actually got 64.5. Shop around and bet MGM. You could get 64.5 at -115. But I agree. I think you gotta go with him over. I'm looking for his receptions as well.
They're not out yet. Only Higbee and him. That's all I saw. Higbee was at 4.5. I also lean that over as well. Higbee.
Yeah, I saw Higbee's I actually saw that 3.5. I'm looking for receptions real quick. Bear with me. Yeah, it's not out. It will definitely get closer to game time. More props will come out, but
in the morning, people catch it in the morning.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon? These guys have to show up, Elvis.
But that's the thing, though. If the quarterback doesn't have the time to throw the ball, they're not going to get the ball. If Joe Burrow is not playing, they're not going to get the opportunities if AJ or somebody else is in, as if they would with Joe Burrow starting. Though that's just a simple blank. They just haven't looked good offensively. Defensively, but offensively, though, Joe Burrow doesn't look like a $260 man.
No, not at all. I'm actually going to go Matthew Stafford over 253 passing yards. It's very low. He's thrown for over 300 yards in every game against good defenses as well. Seahawks, not they're the best, but they have a top 15 defense. He threw for 334 yards. And 49ers, they have a top 5 defense. He threw for over 300 yards. 253 seems very low. I'm going to go over 253 passing yards for Matthew Stafford. I think that's one of my favorite plays besides the money line. But, yeah, I think we actually see a shootout. I don't agree on the under. I think we're going to see a desperate Bengal team. They cannot start 0-3 because then I would hit the panic button. Don't you agree?
No,
You have to because that division is tough.
Dill, that's the thing. It's not about the division, Dill. We've seen this team start 0-2 and make a Super Bowl run. That's why I wouldn't panic. Just because even last year, Dill, they started 0-2, went to the AFC Championship game. So if they were 0-4, absolutely. Just because it'll be tough to make the playoffs. I think the division, screw the division. Fuck the division, Dill. I still think Cincinnati could be a playoff team even if they start 0-3. So I'm not gonna panic, Dill. But I do agree with you. It will be a little concerning, especially if Joe Burrow is not healthy moving forward. Then I'll be a little concerned, Dill. But 0-2, 0-3 start, Dill. This team went to the AFC Championship game and Super Bowl after starting 0-2 back-to-back seasons.
By the way, I found FanDuel 245 passing yards. It actually was not 254, so even better. By the way, we want to read you something because I want to transition. You'll see why I mentioned it. But Texas rookie C.J. Stroud, 906 passing yards in his first 3 NFL starts, and he's the third player in NFL history with at least 900 passing yards in the first 3 games, joining 2 other quarterbacks. Do you know who they are? I'll give you the first one. 2011, Cam Newton.
I knew it was Cam.
And then the other one was in 2020.
2020.
Mm-hmm.
Who came
with at least over 900 passing yards in their first 3 games?
2020. Was it Joe Burrow? No.
It's that draft class.
It is that.
3, 2, 1. Final answer.
Tua.
Nope. Justin Herbert. 931. Wow. 931. But yeah, I just wanted to segue because he actually might be okay. I know everyone wants to talk about quarterbacks for Ohio State, but I want to give Justin Fields a chance. But other than that, big win for Ohio State. They take care of Notre Dame on the road. Where's Lou Holtz? Huh? Where's Lou Holtz? He was talking all this week that we're not tough. We look pretty tough too. So fucking Catholics. Florida State, good win. I think they're the best team. The resume that they have, LSU, then they go and play at Death Valley and beat a very tough Clemson team. That's a very good team. Michigan, they win, but Rutgers covered. So Penn State. I hate to say it, but Penn State might be a top 5 team. They're fucking. They look really good. Washington, Michael Penix put up another fucking Heisman day. That Washington looks legit. Colorado got blown out.
Got embarrassed.
Yeah, they I love Deion switching. He said, "Y'all better get me now because it's the worst time we're ever gonna look." I love it.
And be honest, that's a fact.
Yeah,
that's a fact. The offensive line, defensive line will be better. Travis Hunter will be back. So I agree with it.
Big win for Roll Tide at home. They changed the quarterback and it worked. Nick Saban has Lane Kiffin's number. They win up winning Oklahoma. I can't believe we covered Cincinnati 14.5. I can't believe it, Elvis. But
I had 14. Trust me, I believe it.
Oh man,
push.
Washington State, I told you, tough place to play. They win outright against 14 State Oregon. We had a really good slate of college football. I did go 7-4 in college football. It was a very good week there. So just got to spin all these positives in every which way. I went 2-0 in the WNBA. Connecticut Sun plus 8.5. They win outright. First half over for the Aces. They won. I'm telling you, first half Aces in Las Vegas. It's an auto bet. So speaking of forward, I was 1-0 in MLB as well. So there are a lot of positives today besides the Jets. Elvis, any last words before we get out of here?
Still, let's just have a positive night and positive Monday, people. That's all. Your boys 7-5 for week 3 so far. I just want to, if I could finish 2 or 3 games above, that would be great. So
yes, sir. Let's finish in the green.
Oh yeah, real quick. Dale, you saw the Patriots today, boy. What I tell you? Dale? Let's go. Come on now, lock of the week.
I'm meeting you now. And that's going to do it for this Sunday edition of the Dream Wager. Can't wait for Wednesday and these new power rankings. On behalf of Elvis, our sponsor, Viva, I am D-Rock. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. We'll recap the doubleheader on Monday. We'll give our best plays between the Lions and the Packers for Thursday Night Football. Follow along our social media, X and Instagram at The Dream Wager. You can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. We go live every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday on YouTube, youtube.com/The Dream Wager. Subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.